Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare The streets of Jantalong. I'm gonna sing by the glories of the one and only Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Chant, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, join us, Hare Shiva, Hare Hare. Beautiful abode of Vrindavan. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari
Hare Krishna.
Oh, glories to the Samo.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Oh, glories to Shri Prabhupada.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Hare Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste.
Where's the women, man? Are you with them?
Yeah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So we're going to read from the newly revised edition of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita by His Grace Purjit Prabhu, who is entrusted in our society to do this very, very important service of excavating the essence of the Bhagavad Gita as it is. As you probably know, Bhagavad Gita was dictated by our Divine Spiritual Master and later on edited by his disciples, and unfortunately many meanings were lost. So Purjit very nicely, many years, over almost 10 years of work, of time he dedicated to this very important aspect, and it's done. It's published. We can see it on the internet almost. We just need to reproof it to English. So we're looking for someone who can reproof it. If you know someone with good fund of knowledge of English grammar, vocabulary, you can refer him to us, and he will do a great service to himself, humanity, and of course, Divine Grace, Sri Prabhupada. Okay, this is the first shloka, text number 1 of the second chapter. Sanjaya uvacha tam tata kripaya vishtam ashuro prunakulashe sanam vishadant mamitam vayakyam uvacha madhusudana. Translation: Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, aggravated in mind and with eyes full of tears, Madhusudana Krishna spoke the following words. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Material compassion, lamentation, and tears in the eyes, that was not there, are all signs of ignorance of the real self. Compassion for the eternal soul is self-realization. The word Madhusudana is significant in this connection. Lord Krishna killed the demon Madhu, and now Arjuna wanted Krishna to kill the demon of misunderstanding. that had overtaken him in the discharge of his duty. No one knows where compassion should be applied. Compassion for the dress of a drowning man is false. This is true, was not there. And the whole line, now which was missing from the purport of Srila Prabhupada. We cannot save a man fallen in the ocean of nescience simply by taking out his coat and shirt, or in other words, by taking care of his gross and subtle body. One who does not know this and laments for the outward dress is called a Shudra, almost. Shudra, yes. Shudra. Shudra, that's a fourth class man. Or one who laments unnecessarily. Arjuna was a kshatriya, and this sort of lamentation was not expected from him. Lord Krishna was entrusted by Arjuna to dissipate such lamentation of the ignorant man, and for this purpose the Bhagavad Gita was sung by him. This chapter is meant for self-realization by an analytical study of the material body and the spirit soul, as explained by the Supreme Authority, Lord Shri Krishna. And usually the verse will almost end here, the purport, but Purjit very nicely here refined the last sentence that we can discuss later on. This realization is made possible by one who works without fruitive results while being situated in a fixed conception of the real self. Om Agyantarinandasyam Gyanashala Shalakaya Chakshu Namanitayena Taksmai Shri Gurave Namaha. For my humble obeisances to my spiritual master's divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, joy! You kindly open our darkened eyes with the torchlight of knowledge.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So, this is the beginning of the second chapter. Anyone remembers what is the second chapter about? Wayne?
I don't remember.
It's okay.
Can you
Prabhu, Max?
Army observing?
That's the first, yeah? That's the first chapter, but what happens after Arjuna? He observes the army, right? Now he is crying, right?
He doesn't want to fight.
He doesn't want to fight. That's the beginning of the first chapter, and the second chapter is, remember, Cyril?
It's about the the false conception of I am the body.
Exactly. This is actually the essence too of the Bhagavad Gita. This chapter proves actually why. I would not say proof. It proves analytically, of course, but it meant the Bhagavad Gita meant actually to dissipate the darkness of self-realization. Now everyone is trying to understand more and more how is the body. How I'm more Canadian, more man, more woman, more ugly, more beautiful, like this and like that. So this is all going to be a failure. Why? Because in the end, there is death. Everyone has to die. No one can decide when he's going to die, how he's going to die. And of course, no one can decide where he's going to go after. You see? So the Bhagavad Gita, before that stage comes, from the very beginning, Krishna wants to dissipate the darkness of Arjuna. He wants to explain to him this very important lesson of Atma Tattva, that Aham Brahmasmi, I'm spirit soul, I have nothing to do with those bodily designation, man, small, tall, ugly, beautiful, Russian, Prussian, German, Hindu, Shmindu, all those different things that also is the body from being self-realized. We are actually, all are self-realized, but because we're entrapped in this bodily conception of life, we've forgotten. So the duty of the spiritual master, which Krishna shows right here, Krishna is the supreme
spiritual master, the spiritual master of all the spiritual masters of Lord Brahma, of Arjuna, of Narada, so on and so on. His mission here is to remind us, evoke this eternal consciousness. Aham Brahmasmi, I'm spirit soul. It is nothing artificial. People, they think that, spiritual life is an extra endeavor. No, quite the opposite. Without spiritual life, everything else is an extra endeavor. Yes, without spiritual life, you don't know what to eat. You don't know where to sleep. You don't know who to sleep with. You don't know what kind of kids to raise, how to grow, how to educate them. Spiritual life is the core and substance of everything that we see. Just like the body. Without the spiritual essence, without the spiritual spark in the body is a lump of matter. You can spit on it, you can throw it to the garbage, you can burn it, it's not going to protest. But as soon as the spirit spark is in the body and someone glances in the wrong way on the body, or he says someone behind someone's back, right, even indirectly, so much commotion, so much drama, right, so much drama that the man decides even to leave his body. He decides to commit suicide, right? Now on Facebook, so many teenagers, right, because of all kind of talks back and all kind of conspiracies, right? I heard that many commit suicide. Crazy. So you see, even not the gross, it doesn't. You don't have to affect the spirit soul grossly through the body. It's simply through the subtle brain, the mind, intelligence, false ego. You immediately cause so much difficulties, stress, or the opposite for the body. So the body always dependent on the spirit soul. Never the other way around, right? So the Bhagavad Gita teaches this. Srila Prabhupada, I wrote down a few points so that we can go through in the little time we have before we go to the Harinam. That we cannot save a fallen man in the ocean of the science simply by taking out his coat, shirt, or in other words, by taking care of his gross and subtle body. This was not there in the original purport. What we call as original books of Srila Prabhupada, they dismissed this quote for some other reason. But this is very important. Why? Because people, even so many so-called devotees of Krishna, they enchanted by the gross and the subtle body, and they want to help. They want to help the men, the women, all those different branches and leaves of the society, friendship, and love. So we have to forget about those things: society, friendship, and love. Not because we egocentric or we don't care about them. Quite the opposite. Because we really care about the occupier of the body. We don't care about either it's a man, a woman, a homosexual, heterosexual, this thing and that thing. We care about him being a spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. Just like Krishna says, Mama Ivamsha Jiva Loka Jiva Buddha Sanatana Jiva. He doesn't say that the Jiva is the gross body or the subtle body. No. He says that the Jiva is entangled in the mind. The mind is a great obstacle for the Jiva to come back to Krishna, to understand his eternal relationship with Krishna. So a devotee is the topmost. He performs the topmost humanitarian work, social work, social welfare work, just like we're watching today the charity series, right? The social worker, he couldn't understand how those Hare Krishnas, they're going to change the world. There are just few of them chanting Hare Krishna. What are they going to do? But they don't understand that because the devotee simply chants Hare Krishna. Because he chants Hare Krishna, all the living entities around him are liberated. Simply like that. Just imagine. You come to the temple. Because your purpose is to come to the temple, you might step on so many ants, kill so many germs. Of course, we don't advocate that, but they are liberated because they were sacrificed for the purpose of Krishna consciousness. because you're going to the temple with your legs, with your foot, with your shoes, not to the brothel, not to work, not to your family, your wife, children, society, friendship of love, not because you were going to the temple. So temples are so important. Why are they important? So people can come to the temple. People can sacrifice their time, their energy, their valuable time with the family. They can sacrifice to come to the temple. They can bring the family to the temple and purify everyone who comes in the way. Just like donations, right? Everyone brings donations, so we tell others, go get donations from more people, from more stores. Not for the benefit of Krishna. Krishna doesn't need your donations. It's simply for you to engage in service and purify this dirty consciousness that I'm the body, I'm this sharira. Sharira avidajal, like we sing before we take prasadam. Why we sing this important prayer? Because so we remember that this is not an ordinary foodstuff. This is not some samosa kachori flour, this flour, that flour, organic, not organic, whatever. No, this is Krishna prasadam, and the duty of Krishna prasadam is to honor it. Every little single bit we have to honor, because this is the only cure for getting out of this entanglement of I think I'm the body. Now someone might think that how are you curing yourself thinking that you're the body by putting food in the body? It's a nice actually argument. The substance we take looks exactly like the same samosa you'll get in some other store. Sometimes, right, even better when Ramachandra doesn't know what he's doing. So, but still, it is not an ordinary samosa. Why? Because this is the remedy. This is the remedy to understand that we're not the body. The example is giving that someone, for example, he might have indigestion. He might take too much rabri, rasgulla, sweet rice, so many milk preparations, and have diarrhea, right? Very uncomfortable. Especially us devotees, right? We take shower after every time we go to the bathroom, not to walk with the obnoxious stool behind all the day. This is very, very uncomfortable because we have to take shower many, many times during the day. So the remedy for that is another milk substance. Yogurt with pepper and salt. Very, very fast cure for diarrhea. If you have a problem, you just take it, no problem. So someone might say, oh, this is the same milk. Why should I take the same milk? To cure the problem which was caused by the milk. But that fool doesn't understand that this is the medicine. The medicine of the same milk preparation is the same milk. And this is the function of prasadam. It's the same foodstuff, but because it went through a purification process, sanctification process. It was offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the chain of the cyclic succession through 32 spiritual masters, starting from Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace. So it was purified from any cause of material limitation, distress, like we were reading. Everyone now is lamenting and is distressed. Why? Because they're not taking prasadam. Prabhupada actually said, if you simply give to those shudras, to the first class workers, factory workers, simply you give them prasadam and kirtan and chanting like we're going to do now, oh, they're going to be so happy that even money they're not going to ask you from the boss if you organize it. Even money they're not going to need, because you give them everything they need. They need prasadam and they need chanting. Very, very simple. So this is why the temples are so important, because the temples they're just like army bases. From the army bases we stock the books to throw them on everyone so they read them and get acknowledgement of their spiritual identity, and we make many samosas and we throw them like grenades on everyone, and then everyone is becoming purified one by one. And the fortunate ones, just like you today, thank you very much for coming, they are elevating themselves very quickly. Very quickly. The Bhagavatam says that Savai Pumsha Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Rai. No, sorry, this is not the one. I don't remember the Sanskrit, but the shloka explains very simply that simply by taking up this Krishna conscious process, one develops very quickly knowledge and renunciation from the material affairs, and he doesn't get entangled. And this is the proof. So many young people, old people, men, women, so many from so many religions and backgrounds, they come, they participate, and they advance in spiritual life. You see, this is the real miracle. People ask, oh, what is the miracle your spiritual master brought with him? Did he walk on water? Did he create gold? Some golden utensils? This is nothing. This is for unintelligent people. People who are less than the Shudra, they lament. So because they lament, they come to the spiritual master, they beg him, give me money, cure my disease, give me gold, give me. Oh, that's why they lament. Because they don't understand that everything is already there. Krishna Prem is already in the heart. So the spiritual master, that's the miracle he performs. He invokes this eternal love for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he cures the material disease, Lobha, Kama, Pratishta, all those infinite diseases we carry from previous lives, not just this cancer and overweight and this and some mental disorder. No, this is nothing. We carry the false conception of aham amriti, I'm the enjoyer, I'm the possessor of everything I have, everything I give, everything I manifest through my obnoxious body. So the spiritual master, the real spiritual master, he is miracle, that he cures everyone, regardless of his material connotation, whatever he might be, whatever background he might come from. He cures his disease of this being the enjoyer of the material world. And he curbs down his ego till such an extent that he gives up the four sinful activities of the human society. What are the four sinful activities? Can anyone say? Number 1, Cyril.
Gambling.
Gambling. Number 2, Max.
Eating meat.
Eating meat, yes.
Sexual misconduct.
Sorry?
Sexual misconduct.
Exactly. Illicit sex. Illicit sex. Very bad. So, and the last one, gambling, we said meat eating, illicit sex, and
violence.
yeah, it's causing a lot of violence. That's true.
Body violence.
It causes a lot of violence. So when someone he goes here, all the stores they're full of this intoxication. Exactly. The first actual intoxication is this thing. I am the body. The nature already. Maya supplies us already the intoxication. Oh look, you have a body of a man, of a woman. It's so beautiful. Actually, it doesn't matter who you take. However ugly he's gonna be in love with his body. You can make an experiment. You can ask someone, you think you're ugly? Then no one's gonna tell you, yes, I think I'm ugly. Everyone's gonna be in love with his body. You see, obsessed, 24 hours. So, spiritual master, he curbs down those sinful activities. And how he does that? Not by dry rules, regulations like this. No, by this wonderful, sweet, melodious chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Any questions?
No, Jai.
Okay, let's go do Harinam, Eva Kevada. Jai, Grantara Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Oh, Jai. Shira Prabhupada ki